Now we welcome Klara Smith, researcher, Tilburg University. Welcome, Klara.
Thank you very much, Dr. Reginald. I am speaking here today as a researcher invited to provide expertise on this by the foundation and its lawyer. I'm a researcher into migration and human rights, and I have particularly studied the trajectories of Eritrean refugees. And in this regard, I've looked in detail into the geopolitical situation in the Horn of Africa and the role of Eritrean authorities in this. And I think the announcement of legal action that is done here today is very timely. Since November 2020, a war has been raging in Ethiopia against the Tigray region. And this war has been often classified as a civil war, but Eritrean troops have been heavily involved. And rather than an isolated incident, this involvement constitutes a continuation of a spoiler role that Eritrea has played in the region in the last decades. And this fits into a strategy of exercising control beyond its borders. And this includes sending of its troops into conflicts abroad in a mercenary-like fashion. It also includes control over Eritrean refugees abroad. Eritrea is not doing this alone. On 27th of April 2022, Foreign Minister of the State of Eritrea, Osman Saleh, paid a visit to Moscow. And here, Foreign Minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, reaffirmed the interest of Russia to build a logistics hub along the Eritrean coastline. Eritrea was also the only African country who voted with Russia in the UN resolution to stop military action of Russia in Ukraine. The close relations between the two countries are established. Especially since 2018, Russia has cooperated with Eritrea on economic and other issues. And that's not the only way in which Eritrea follows the Russian model, notably in its destabilization model. Most recently, this has been clearly visible in Tigray, where Eritrean troops have been widely documented committing crimes against civilians, including execution of civilians, rape, and looting. There are indications that the Eritreans are also taking a key role in the intelligence structure in Ethiopia. This destabilization contributes, among others, to the mass displacement of populations. Eritrean forces have particularly targeted refugee camps in Tigray, where nearly 100,000 Eritrean refugees were housed before the start of the war. And there are indications that thousands of Eritrean refugees may also have forcibly been taken back by Eritrean troops to Eritrea. And those same troops that are active in the war in Tigray are also forcibly conscripted in the indefinite national service. In addition, many Tigrayans have been forced to flee these same violence, among others caused by the Eritrean troops. And this consists of the same crimes that were mentioned before. The displacement caused by the destabilization leads, among others, to forced migratory movements. A number of those refugees also moved towards Europe. The routes for Eritrean refugees from the Horn are predominantly controlled or exclusively controlled by high-level human traffickers who take people to black sites in Libya where they are tortured for ransom. And those high-level traffickers are also Eritreans. And researchers are indicating that these traffickers have ties to the highest level of Eritrean government, even up to the President Isaias Afwerki. One person active in the opposition against the Eritrean government even told me that a family member of his was taken directly from the Ethiopian capital of Addis Ababa by the Eritrean intelligence to a black site in Libya, where the family member was extorted for ransom. These examples show that, like Russia, Eritrea is attempting to expand its regional influence and makes use of similar tactics, mercenaries, disinformation, and violence against civilians to do so. This impacts Europe directly, among others, through the large number of traumatized refugees that make their way across the Mediterranean. In addition, Eritrea aligns itself with actors who particularly focus on the destabilization of Europe. And therefore, I believe it is of importance for the international community, and particularly the European Union, to ensure that the Eritrean government is not supported in these efforts and that the perpetrators of international crimes perpetrated under the authority of the president of Eritrea, Isaias Afwerki, are brought to justice to the full extent of the law, and that there are no distinctions made between efforts to provide justice for victims of atrocities. Thank you very much, Dr. Reginald.
Thank you very much, Klara. Thank you for all the presenters, the three persons that just shared their statements.